Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lady Sarah, and I am here to discuss principle number 3, which is avoid using euphemisms or gentilisms. What is euphemisms or gentilisms? It is a word or phrase that is less expressive or direct, but it is considered less distasteful or less offensive than another. These are terms often used to soften or obscure more direct or harsh language, making them particularly useful in reporting sensitive topics. I believe providing samples will better explain the topic more effectively, so let's explore it further. Euphemisms are phrases that replace harsh terms with more gentle alternatives. For example, using passed away instead of died, economically challenged instead of poor, adult entertainment instead of pornography. This is especially useful when writing content as they help convey sensitive topic in a more tactful and considerate manner. While gentilisms are a specific type of euphemism that tends to reflect a more refined or upper class sensibility, they often aim to maintain a sense of politeness. For instance, using restroom instead of toilet, intimate relations instead of sex, and the family way instead of pregnant. They are very useful. Next one is avoid using roundabout phrasing. What is roundabout phrasing? It refers to a style of communication that is indirect or circuitous, often using more words than necessary to express an idea. Instead of being straightforward, it can involve using elaborate or convoluted language to convey a point, sometimes to avoid sounding too blunt or to provide additional context. Sometimes we bury our messages in so many words that only tend to confuse our readers. You can tell if a sentence used roundabout phrasing if you can spot long phrases that can otherwise be shortened to convey more direct meaning. Examples of roundabout phrasing are using I disagree instead of saying I have a different perspective on this matter. Rather than stating it's cold outside, someone might say the temperature outside has dropped significantly, making it quite chilly. Last one is instead of saying most, someone might say a large proportion of. While this style can add politeness, it can also lead to confusion and the message becomes unclear. It is important to balance detail with clarity to ensure the main idea is easily understood by everyone. The next one is redundant phrase. From the word itself, redundant, it is a combination of words that unnecessarily repeats the same idea or concept, adding no new information. These phrases can make writing less clear or concise. This is another way to complicate your sentence and obscure your meaning by using too many redundant words. This can make your message harder to understand. To communicate clearly, it is better to choose precise words and avoid repetition. By being concise, you can help your audience grasp your ideas quickly and easy. Simple language often has a stronger impact. We have to take note of that. Examples speak for themselves, like predict in advance. We can use predictus, dead body, body, free gift. We can use gift, revert back. We can remove revert and use go back or just revert. Repeat again when in you can just use repeat. Next one is avoid or minimize the use of verbal deadwood. What is verbal deadwood? It is unnecessary words or phrase in writing or speech that do not add value or meaning. This can clutter communication and make it less clear and effective. Essentially, it's language that could be removed without losing a message. They are meaningless words that only lengthen a sentence without adding anything meaningful or significant to the message. Examples are actually, really, obviously, as a matter of fact, of course, etc. By cutting out unnecessary words, you can make your writing clearer and more powerful. Another examples of verbal deadwood are in order to instead of just to, due to the fact that instead of just using the word because, instead of saying now, the writer said at this point in time. Utilize, we can substitute in the word use. When you focus on the essential ideas, your message comes across more effectively. This not only keeps your audience engaged, but also helps them understand your point quickly. I have here possible substitutes to a more difficult words. For example, endeavor, we can use try, cease, stop. A small number of, we can use the word few. Imperative, we can use important or urgent. Transmit, send. Made the recipient of, received. In the immediate vicinity of, we can use near. In the event of, if or when, for the reason that, because, and since. Inebriated is drunk. These samples are very useful to better understand the topic. I also have here some sentences wherein the writer uses more complicated words wherein we can simplify it. For example, the writer use will come into the possession of a red colored sports car. We can just use this sentence: on his 18th birthday, Michael will get the red sports car. Another good example is sentence number 4. The couple was united in holy matrimony in a tiny chapel in the immediate vicinity of Villa Escudero. We can see how complicated this sentence is, wherein we can just simplify it into the couple was married in a tiny chapel near Villa Escudero. Another principle is use specific language, and under this is vague sentence. This one lacks clear meaning or specificity, making it difficult for the reader to fully understand what is being communicated. Vague sentences often use ambiguous language or general terms that don't provide enough detail. This is one of the most frustrating things for readers. To effectively communicate your message, aim for clarity, avoid generalizations, and focus on concrete details that paint a clear picture. Use examples of vivid descriptions to help your readers understand your points better. Example of a vague sentence is: to clear his head, he took a long vacation somewhere in the sun. We can make it more precise by rephrasing the sentence: to clear his head, he took a long vacation somewhere in Los Baños, Laguna. You have to consider some questions when making a sentence that is precise. For example, she did something interesting. What was interesting? Is not feeling great. What exactly is wrong? We should discuss it later. When is later? Vague sentences can cause confusion and misunderstanding. When you choose precise words, your message is easier to understand and readers are less likely to misinterpret your meaning. Always aim to be clear as possible to ensure your audience fully grasps what you're trying to say. In conclusion, prioritizing clarity not only enhances understanding but also fosters better communication with your audience and ensure that your ideas effectively communicated, leading to a more engaged and informed audience, which is our main goal. Thank you so much for listening.